Let's get into the Garbhagṛha. The word Garbhagṛha is composed of two words, Garbha, which means womb or innermost core, and Graha means house or chamber. Thus, Garbhagṛha literally means the womb chamber. Why a womb? The womb is invisible, silent, dark, protected. Life develops there long before it becomes visible. Ancient Hindu philosophers employed this imagery because the divine is understood in much the same way. The Upanishads repeatedly speak of the deepest reality as hidden within all beings. The Garbhagṛha gives architectural form to this philosophical idea. The smallest room is the most important. Modern architecture often celebrates grand halls. Palaces impress through enormous chambers. The Garbhagṛha does the opposite. It is intentionally small, enclosed, quiet, and almost empty. Its apparent simplicity is deliberate. Nothing should distract from the presence of the deity. The architecture withdraws so that the divine alone remains. If you see the entire temple, every inch is carved beyond explanation. However, in the Garbhagṛha, it is just the simple deity with no too much of sculpturing. Perhaps the first thing every visitor notices is darkness. The Garbhagṛha receives almost no natural light. It is entirely intentional. The darkness serves multiple purposes. Darkness protects the sacred image. It creates a stable environment. It minimizes distraction. The flickery flame of the oil lamp becomes visually powerful. During worship, the priest performs arati. The flame briefly illuminates the deity. Then darkness returns. The devotee does not continuously observe God. Instead, the divine reveals itself momentarily. The experience becomes one of revelation rather than observation. Darkness is not regarded as evil. It represents the unmanifest. Creation itself emerges from the unseen. The sanctum therefore resembles the cosmic state before manifestation. Many first-time visitors ask, why make the holiest place so dark? The answer lies in concentration. Every opening introduces distraction. Every window connects the mind to the outside world. The Garbhagṛha intentionally serves this connection. Only one axis remains, the doorway. One entrance, one vision, one deity. The entire architectural composition directs attention towards a single point. The Garbhagṛha occupies the Brahmasthana, the spiritual center of the temple plan. It is here that the vertical axis of the temple reaches its greatest significance. In a complete medieval temple, below lies the earth, within stands the deity, above rises the shikhara, at its summit rests the kalasa. Together, these elements create an axis mundi, the cosmic axis linking the terrestrial and the celestial. At the center of each sanctum stands the Shivalinga. Few symbols in Indian civilization have been as misunderstood. The Sanskrit word of linga means mark, sign, or symbol. In Śaiva philosophy, the linga is the iconic representation of Shiva. It signifies the infinite, the beginless, the endless. Śaiva texts such as the Linga Purana, the Shiva Purana, and many other scriptures explain that the linga represents the transcendence of Shiva beyond ordinary perception. The closer one approaches Shiva, the less architecture speaks. silence becomes the first ornament. This deliberate contrast reflects an architectural philosophy found across many Hindu temples. The exterior celebrates the diversity of creation, the interior reveals unity. Hoysaleswara is not a single shrine temple, it is Divakuta temple. It contains two principal sanctum placed side by side. One houses the Hoysaleshwara Linga, the other houses the Shantaleshwara Linga. The two sanctums are connected by a shared Navaranga, Great Hall, a recurring theme in Hindu philosophy. Many manifestations, one underlining reality. As one enters the Navaranga, the eye is immediately drawn upon the pillars. They do not merely support ceiling, they organize space. The hall resembles as a carefully planned forest. Each pillar stands like a tree. Among the greatest achievements of Hoysala craftsmanship are the famous Lathe-Turned pillars. These polished stone columns appear astonishingly smooth. Their surfaces reflect light almost like metal. Their profiles include perfectly symmetrical rings, discs, moldings, and gently curving forms. For generations, travelers wondered how such precision have been achieved. Most scholars believe the pillars were shaped using a form of rotational carving in which stone blanks were turned and worked with remarkable accuracy before receiving final hand finishing. The exact techniques remain debatable because no medieval workshop, manuals, or descriptions of the process has survived. What is beyond debate is the extraordinary precision of the finished work. Even today, many visitors mistake the pillar for machine-made objects. They are not. They are masterpieces of medieval craftsmanship. Notice something remarkable. The pillars are exquisitely carved, yet they rarely overpower the sanctum. The architectural hierarchy remains clear. Each ceiling bay possesses its own design. Lotuses unfold from the center. Geometric rosettes radiate outwards. Interlocking patterns create the illusion of infinite expansion. Some ceiling resembles blossoming flowers, others evoke celestial wheels. Others seems almost weightless despite being carved from massive stone slabs. Each ceiling transforms the overhead space into a symbolic sky. The lotus appears repeatedly throughout the hall. Since a lotus grows from mud, yet blossoms unstained. For this reason, it becomes one of the most enduring symbols of spiritual realization. The lotus reminds devotees that the goal of human life is to rise above ignorance while remaining rooted in the world. The Halebidu builders created interiors where ritual recitations could be heard with clarity. Their relatively low ceilings, carefully proportioned base, and multiple stone surfaces help contain and distribute sound within the hall. To the Hoysala architects, a pillar served many purposes simultaneously. It was a structural support, an architectural divider, a visual guide, a symbolic axis, a sculptural masterpiece, and an object demonstrating the perfection of craftsmanship. In Sanskrit, the word pillar means stamba. Hoysala pillars appear almost jewel-like. They are slender, highly polished, richly molded, and very symmetrical. It has the base, the shaft, the decorative bands, and the capital. The capital is nothing but the upper portion broadens to receive the beam above. The base anchors the pillar to the floor. It distributes the weight and establishes visual stability. The shaft is the most striking feature. Highly polished surfaces reflects even small amount of light. One of the remarkable feature of Hoysala Halebidu architecture is that many craftsmen left their names on the temple. Artists such as Dasoja, Chavanna, that medieval Indian architecture was not anonymous. Standing beneath these ceilings, one senses an ordered cosmos unfolding overhead. The visitors often ask, how long did it take to carve one ceiling? The truthful answer is that we do not know. No inscription records the time required for individual panels. Construction of Hoysaleswara Halebidu extended over many decades, and numerous workshops likely worked simultaneously under master architects and sculptors. Rather than imagining a single genius creating everything, it is most accurate to picture generations of skilled artisans working within a shared architectural vision. The ceilings are therefore collective achievements. There are 108 pillars inside the main mandapa, each with a distinct design and more than 16 feet in height. Though they appear monolithic, each pillar is assembled from 5 interlocking stone pieces, a sophisticated joinery system that allows such height and stability without visible seams. The Madanika, or also known as Salabhanjika figures, are on the pillars. Each of these 4 pillars originally had 4 standing Madanika figures on the brackets at the capital, that is on the top. That means 16 figures per shrine and 32 in total across the twin temple. Today, only about 11 survive, roughly 6 in the northern shrine and 5 in the southern. The soft soapstone allowed deep undercutting. The Salabhanjikas sit on the 4 brackets projecting from the pillar capital. Because the stone is deeply undercut and the figures are modeled almost fully in the round, down to details of jewelry, posture and drapery, they look as if they are freestanding or lightly placed rather than heavily structural. In reality, they are integral to the bracket system that help support the ceiling beams. But the visual effect is of elegant, most independent sculptures resting on the pillars. This is a hallmark of Hoysala work and differs from shallower relief styles. A mistake of a few millimeters could destroy years of hard work. The sculpture was planned before the first strike of the chisel. Many figures reflect the importance of Natya, or the classical dance, and Lasya, that is, the graceful feminine movement. Observe the hip movement, the hand gestures, facial expressions, jewelry, hairstyle. These reflects the sophisticated artistic culture of the Hoysala court. The Dvarapalas outside the Garbhagṛha are one of the most fascinating piece of sculptures in the Halebidu temple. Approximately 6 feet in height, that is about 1.8 meters tall, they stand in the classic Tribhanga or 3 bends, S-shaped pose, giving a sense of dynamic, swaying like force. They are often accompanied by smaller chori-bearing female attendants, 4-armed Śaiva guardians, a third eye on the forehead and prominent fangs, marking them as fierce, semi-divine beings who protect the inner sanctum. They are heavily adorned with ornate jewelry like necklaces, armlets, bracelets, anklets, and elaborate headgear, all executed with minute details. Many Hoysala Śaiva Dvārapālas are depicted with multiple arms. The additional arms symbolize divine capability or capacity, not physical anatomy. Each hand may hold Śaiva attributes. The common weapons include Trishul, the trident, which is interpreted with creation, preservation, and destruction. Then the Gada or the mace represents Dharma and royal authority, which is the symbol of strength. The Damru or the hourglass drum evokes the rhythm of creation. Cobra or Naga serpent are associated with power, protection, transformation. The cobra signifies control over primal forces. Khadga or the sword, symbol of cutting away ignorance. And there is also blazing fire in one hand. Their jewelry, worked with thousands of tiny beads, sculptors used a fine drill to separate the individual beads, creating a jewel-like surface, and the level of detail is among the finest in the temple. This is where Hoysala artistry is extraordinary. Kiritika, which is the crown, is often elaborate and towering. Kundala or the earrings are large circular ornaments. The hara or the necklaces, which are of multiple layers. The kayura or the armlets on the upper arm are finest ornaments. The kankan, also known as the bracelets, and the mekhala, the ornaments around the waist. The facial expressions, unlike demon, Dvarapalas are not portrayed as uncontrolled. Even a guardian appears alive here.